It's impossible to watch the Minions and Despicable Me movies without laughing at least once at the antics of these little yellow beings. But even if you're a die-hard Minions fan, do you really know all the hidden secrets about Gru's loyal servants? One of the most iconic features of these little yellow beings is their eye goggles. Since their early days on land, the Minions have always had small visors on their heads made from seaweed. Because of this, many fans of the franchise wonder what the Minion's eye really looks like without these goggles. The thing is, this has already been shown, but most fans don't remember it. Shortly after the release of Despicable Me, 14 years ago, the first animated Minion short was also released, and in one of them, we see a Minion using a small toy that makes a cow moo sound. Another Minion finds it silly and pulls off the toy holder's goggles. At that moment, we can see what the Minion's eye looks like under their visors, bulging and sticking out, just as I always imagined. Did you also imagine they would look like that? Besides their unusual shape, there's another small secret involving the Minion's eyes. Almost all the Minions have the same eye color, brown. However, as far as we know, at least two Minions have different eye colors. One is Bob, who has a green eye, and the other is Alex, a Minion who looks a lot like Bob, but with two blue eyes. He appears in the animated short Minions and Monsters, released in 2022 after Minions: The Rise of Gru. Since then, he's become one of my favorite Minions. Make sure you watch the entire video to discover all 14 hidden secrets about the Minions that most people have no idea about. So, join the fun, Cinewave is starting. You probably didn't realize this, but the inspiration to create the three main Minions who star in the first Minions movie in 2015 was carefully planned to resemble, albeit subtly, Gru's three daughters. And if you take a closer look, you'll notice that each yellow being's behavior really does resemble each of the girls. For example, Kevin, who is the tallest, was designed to correspond to Margot, who is also the tallest and most responsible daughter of the three. And you've probably noticed that Bob, with his small teddy bear, is quite similar to Agnes and her beloved stuffed unicorn. Finally, Stuart's carefree attitude is very similar to Edith, who only cares about having fun. So we can say they are two trios that match perfectly. Maybe you haven't noticed yet, but it's more than proven that the Minions neither breathe nor need oxygen to live. The first hint of this was given when we see one of the Minions, the one who took Dr. Nefario's anti-gravity serum, floating in outer space without any concern. And we see it again in the short Mooned, already on the moon, confirming it once more. Moreover, this applies to all Minions. When Vector collided with them and they ended up on Mars, we see that they're all relaxed, making a little campfire. And certainly the most concrete proof of all happens when Gru launches the fart bomb in the theater and we see that their master needs to use a powerful mask while the Minions are relaxed and enjoying the shark movie. Now that's a complete lack of a sense of smell. But in addition to bulging eyes and a total lack of a nose and a sense of smell, there's another peculiar aspect about these little yellow beings. Their bodies stretch. This becomes clear when Herb, Scarlett's husband, tries to torture Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, but fails, as their arms and legs stretch at the same time, proving that the Minions' anatomy and biology are completely different from anything else on Earth. If you take a closer look at the Despicable Me franchise, we've seen various types of Minions. For example, we met the pink Minions in the animated short Scouts. There are the animal Minions we saw in the second movie of the Yellow Beings. Then there are the indestructible purple Minions from Despicable Me 2. We've seen giant Minions like Kevin, among many others. If you'd like a video covering all the different types of Minions and explaining each of them in detail, drop a comment below with #type. Did you know that the Minions were inspired by two of the most widely consumed natural foods in the world? The first one is even their favorite food, bananas. This is actually one of the reasons why Minions are completely yellow, to resemble and remind us of a banana. But after that, in the beginning of the first Minions movie, we see what they look like in a distant past, just small yellow blobs. For this part of the story about Gru's current servants, the animators drew inspiration from none other than popcorn kernels, which makes total sense. Can you imagine a popcorn Minion? That would be something really cool to see. Since we're talking about the Minions' appearance early in their creation, let's delve a bit into their history. In the movie, we see that after serving Napoleon and accidentally firing a cannonball at the French general, they ended up being expelled from his army. They then found a cave in Siberia and lived there until they got tired and met Scarlett. The interesting detail is that although we see that they lived there for some time until they became depressed, most of us don't realize that they actually spent 150 years in that cave before meeting Scarlett. This is because Napoleon was deposed in 1814 and the movie takes place in 1968, more than a century and a half later. This truly proves that Gru's servants don't have an expiration date, and many years from now, they'll still be around on Earth, up to their usual antics. The Minions' life purpose is to serve the greatest villain they can find, so it makes sense that they love all kinds of weapons. This is pretty clear in several moments throughout the franchise. For example, when they hitch a ride to Orlando with the family that makes a stop to rob a bank, they find weapons in the car's trunk, and you can see that they are quite thrilled to be holding a bazooka and a revolver. We can also notice this at the end of Despicable Me 2 when Dr. Nefario discovers that bad jelly is the best way to turn the Minions back to normal. One of Gru's henchmen is very happy to use the jelly gun to save his friends. And when they escape with Drew, you can see they're genuinely delighted to be using all sorts of different weapons, ready to engage in villainy once again after so long. So yes, we can definitely say they really love weapons. The Minions speak a language called Minionese,
No, Kevin. It's better.
which is actually a mix of several languages spoken around the world, such as English, French, Japanese, Indonesian, and others. And we see that they can even communicate with beings from other planets, as shown at the end of the animated short Moon. When they leave Mars with the little alien, leaving Vector behind, proving that they can make friends even outside of Earth. That's why I love the Minions. And if you also love these little yellow beings in animated movies, hit the subscribe button below. That way it'll be harder for you to miss our upcoming videos that we post every day. It's clear when we see the Minions at the start of their solo movie that they are beings in a state of evolution. They move from the sea to land, transforming from little popcorn kernels into banana-shaped creatures with arms and legs. All of this suggests that they can still change, albeit slowly. This means that in the future, we might see taller, possibly even stronger Minions. In fact, we can say that the Mega Minions are already an evolved version of the regular Minions, and the AVL helped speed up the process. So maybe in the future, all the Minions will have superpowers. While that might be chaotic, it would definitely be awesome too. Despite being nearly perfect life forms, Minions weren't blessed with intelligence. This is probably what makes them so adorable. We can see this in many moments, from when they try to hammer a simple nail in Gru's lair, to when they find themselves on a bridge carrying bombs, and end up blowing everything up because they don't know how to handle a simple situation. I don't know about you, but I definitely prefer them this way. Even though they're not the smartest employees, they certainly have big hearts, especially Bob, who even adopts a sewer rat while in London. Plus, we see that if it weren't for them, Gru and Margot wouldn't be around to tell their stories, as they are the ones who save father and daughter at the end of the first movie. Not to mention when Mel reminded everyone of the good times they had with Gru, making them regret abandoning their boss. This really shows that these little yellow beings have big, loving hearts, even though they love causing mischief. And finally, it seems that somehow the Minions were born with a natural talent for music, as they even managed to surprise a panel of judges in a talent show. We also see in some of the movies that the final songs were sung by the little guys, like at Gru and Lucy's wedding ceremony, or at Knuckles' funeral, where they even performed a small choir to sing sacred music. And I have to admit, this is one of the things I love most about the Minions. Every time they sing, I enjoy it so much. How about you? Another thing I really enjoy is being here with you in this video. So to keep hanging out a little longer, pick one of the 2 videos we've left on the screen so you can keep having fun and we can stay together. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Deal?